Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and so many of you ask me how to increase damage of your shredder, what mean the minigun with a shredder modification, well known under the second name Meat Grinder. That's the weapon, and so many of you was interested how to increase this damage that I decided to explain how this weapon actually works and what can increase its damage to help you out. And first, we go into option, show damage numbers in adventure, off. Because in case of this weapon, those damage numbers have absolutely no sense and you shouldn't use them deciding what's increasing the weapon damage. Then we disable it to showcase it better. And now we are of course at Emmet Mountain disposal site. And I don't know if developers did it intentionally or not, but by making all those scavengers locked at level 50 with the same amount of health and crazy amount of 1600 armor and 1600 energy resistance, plus their very passive behavior, makes them very unfortunate, perfect subject for testing weapons. Therefore first, I'm unequipping all my armor and my strength is 17. And I will show you the first test. We'll attack one scavenger with this setup, strength 17. And that's how fast he dies. And yes, I show you that in the slow motion that will help you out figure out exactly how many hits it takes to put a target down, and there is no damage numbers on the screen that will otherwise distract you. Now, we increase our strength by adding Radical, Unyielding Armor, Shielded Secret Service Under Armor, and consuming Whiskey. And now we have another scavenger, unfortunate victim of second test. And I hope it was pretty obvious that damage increased greatly. Therefore, you could think that as damage increases greatly when you add strength, that minigun will be a melee weapon. Unfortunately, no, and I will show you now one other test. I will add Incisor and another. Oh, this scavenger is already injured. We are not interested. This one is full health. Incisor added. And I don't know if you are able to tell, but there is no difference. And I will not show you every single combination of perks that I was testing because it will take ridiculous amount of time, but I will try to explain you this weapon now. The Meat Grinder is kind of a combination of a heavy gun and a melee weapon. It's in between. It's in between heavy gun and melee weapon. Therefore, a lot of perks doesn't work as you would think they should. It's not boosted by melee damage from food, or by melee perks, or by heavy gunner perks, not boosted by Incisor, but it is boosted by a Basher perk. You can add it to boost damage further. It is boosted by Strength stat, and if you will be wearing power armor, it will benefit from Stabilize perk. Therefore, you can give yourself armor penetration while in power armor. What in practice means that between using Unyielding set and using power armor with Stabilized, Unyielding set is only slightly better and requires you to play with low health, where you can use Stabilized in power armor and achieve almost the same damage. Then we can equip that. Apart from that, universal damage boosters like Adrenaline that are boosting all your damage when you kill enemies are working. That would include Bloody Mess. I don't have it in here, then I will not equip, but you can use Bloody Mess. And in regards of mutations, it will be boosted by Adrenal Reaction, the mutation that increases your damage when your health is going down. And this one will boost the damage. The other mutations will not boost the damage, unless you count Herd Mentality as it's giving you extra strength when you are on a team, then strength will give you more damage. Talon's Twisted Muscles? No. Now, When you are looking a weapon for yourself to make it a meat grinder, what you are looking for? The prefix. In this case, I have a vampire, gain brief health regeneration when you hit enemy. Prefix is a first star effect. Even though it's a second in here, it's first star effect. They just not in order. Very often, legendary effects are not in order. But on the first star, you can use vampire, or you can use anti-armor, and from my testing, other effects are not doing anything. Like two-shot, blooded, this stuff not doing anything. I wasn't able to test every single one, then maybe there is something that works, but definitely vampire and anti-armor works, and other effects most likely not. About the second star, it will be bashing damage increased, and it's the only one that works. The faster fire rate will do absolutely nothing. The fire rate of the weapon doesn't matter. You only can boost it with bash damage increased by 40%. About the modifications, why there is a prime barrel, it doesn't give any extra damage. The prime barrel is in here because therefore I always have 0 5mm ammo, as you cannot have any ammo to use a meatball grinder. Sight doesn't matter, you need to have equipped shredder, and that's about it. Anything else does not matter, only equipping shredder change this weapon. And other mods does not affect anything if you intend to use it without ammo. Additionally, about the chems and aid, anything that boosts your strength will help, and anything that boosts your overall damage will help as well. Then now, we'll take this weapon for a spin, kill a couple super mutants, and I will show you how much damage it can actually do. And if you will have any questions later, feel free to ask. Okay, we have some super mutants. I'm fully boosted. Let's see what it can do. It seems to be doing very well. And I pretty much cannot be killed. The problem is, I cannot jump. Like with this weapon, you cannot jump, as jumping basically disables the effect. And it does nothing for a moment, then it starts working again. Then jumping is not an option, and if you are getting staggered, the effect will be disabled too. And I hope you are enjoying yo meat grinders, as now those weapons are not losing any durability while used. And this is most likely the bug, because like none of my melee weapon is losing any durability. I didn't fix any of my melee weapons, none of them broke, and I was using them quite a lot. Then I'm pretty sure it's a bug, and melee weapon not losing a durability is very likely not a future. However, we would love it to be a future, it is most likely not. But as long as it's working like that, you can enjoy it. Look at those super mutants, like the death is almost instantaneous. And we are not using any ammo, any repair kits, nothing. And now a quick test in power armor. Let's see in power armor how well we'll be doing. As you can see, almost the same as in unyielding armor. As we still have high strength due to this guy being a melee guy, then base strength is 15. And super mutants is still dying instantly. Look at this guy, level 75. Yep, about instant death. There is a small difference between unyielding and power armor with stabilized, but not significant enough to matter, as you can clearly see. Oh, one more doggo. Oh, and one more important thing, because that's not actually a melee weapon, it is not working with torn armor. I had some questions before. No, it's not working with torn armor, and as well in daily op, it's behaving a little bit weird if you face resilient enemies, as basically you will be able to kill them as long as no one else drop them down to 0 health with range weapon. If someone will shoot them to 0 health to the point when those enemies in daily op are like glowing red and cannot be killed with range attacks, then grinding like that will not be able to kill them. But you'll still be able to kill them by bashing them manually, then that's interesting. But in the same time, if no one else is shooting them, you will be able to normally go to them and grind them the same like those super mutants. then yeah, that's a weird behavior. That's what you end up with if you mix a heavy gun with a melee weapon and make a one weapon. But it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it and I recommend you try it before all the melee weapon will get fixed and will start losing durability. Again, we don't know what's the intended durability loss for the minigun with Meatball Grinder. We know what it was before. It was extremely fast degradation. We don't know what will happen in the future. But at this moment, it is insanely fun and powerful weapon. And now, as always, thank you a lot for watching and see you guys in the next one.